Apparently I need to go to the opposite entrance.
On the second side, I should have got vanilla with pistachio milk.
Boldogság van, de mindegy, így is úgy is szar. Tudtam, hogy csak sörözzünk a pusképal, de most már hála égnek végre nem látlak. Fejemben még előkerülsz, mikor leltárban, s rájöttem, hogy nélküled a felvárszal. S lehet, hogy ez miattam lett elvágva, hogy egy idő után túl sok, amit elvártam. De ha lenne még egy kérdésed, én lehet várlak. Mert engem csak a lételemet érted. Végtelen mámor.
I had a really nice time exploring the Buda part of Budapest this morning. Yeah, it was really nice, but I've done lots of walking and I've still got half my langosh to eat. I folded it up so that I could actually wrap it up, but I still have half of it left, and I just made myself a peppermint tea, and I'm just going to finish editing the video that I made most of the progress when I was in Vienna, and I'm gonna take it easy tonight. I'm feeling quite tired, and I've just been reflecting on how I've been feeling while traveling, and although I've enjoyed doing something each day, I hadn't really felt like I was appreciating my travels as much, and I think it comes to just being tired. And I got another mouthful sauce, so I think that's really tells me like how I'm feeling in any moment. So I've done some exploring today. I tried some food. I think I've tried everything that I can try without searching for something that's like the vegan version of Hungarian food, which I'm hoping I can still try, but I'm not too worried about it because the cuisine is quite heavy for me and I get bloated very easily, so I don't really want to be uncomfortable for the whole day for the sake of like the travel experience, but we'll see.
Not ready to go tomorrow afternoon, and the room is nice.
Oh?
To your YouTube channel.
Quite noisy outside. How was that today? I thought I would do a little catch up on how things are going so far. It's my last night in Budapest, and yeah, I just think that I'm really tired, and I'm struggling to enjoy the city life at the moment. I think going from Vienna to Budapest, and I already was feeling this way in Vienna, I'm just over the noise and the people, the number of people, and how chaotic it is. It's a lot more chaotic in Budapest, but I will say that I've enjoyed the buildings, like the architecture, and just walking around, and it has a bit more liveliness to it, but it also is quite rowdy, which I guess is similar to Amsterdam. It just attracts a lot of tourists and lots of groups of people who like to drink. But I did write down in my journal, I haven't journaled today, but things that I've enjoyed so far. So I know that I am tired because I'm able to, pinpoint some things I've enjoyed each day that I'm here. Yet on the overall perspective, I just feel like I would rather be kind of somewhere else, or just somewhere calmer, and that I don't really feel like I need to be traveling at the moment or be a tourist. So when I first arrived, I really had such a good time at my belly dancing classes. I did a back-to-back class. my last Airbnb for a while, and then I'll be in hostels, so shared dorms, and I won't really get to practice, so that's why I decided to do the beginner class and then as well as the intermediate advanced class. And it was so much fun. The teacher was such good energy and she was an amazing dancer, and I could tell that she seemed like so happy that I was enjoying the class so much, because I'm quite a smiley person especially in general, and also when I'm like having fun, it's very clear on my face. So that was a really good first night in Budapest. And then the second day I went on a walking tour, and that was good, but I had these baklava pancakes and they were like so sweet and heavy, but I feel like I don't really eat like that all the time, so I wanted to treat myself. But I did kind of know, even if I had a coffee, they would make me sleepy. But I enjoyed walking around Pest side, and the tour guide was cool. He made things interesting, had a few jokes, and he also has like a city guide, and he's a musician, and he also just has like a Spotify playlist on Hungarian songs from between the 60s and the 90s, and I've been like walking around the city listening to it sometimes, and it's quite fun. So I really enjoyed when you are exploring a new place and you do go on a walking tour, that's like a way for you to learn about history. And I don't have a great memory. I've basically forgotten everything that I learned in school, and I definitely was taught like so many like different topics, but I'm just putting it down to trauma, and that's why I feel I have a bad memory, but I am trying to work on it now. And I actually listened to some podcasts on my way to Budapest from Vienna, so that when I then go on the walking tour, some of the facts are then repeated, not all of them, because everyone, there's only so long you can speak, and history, people could be there for hours and hours, days, weeks to explain things. So I quite like this, because then it feels like certain things are actually being revised in my mind, rather than just hearing it for the first time and then instantly forgetting it, but like hearing it again and someone explaining it maybe slightly differently, or from another lens, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I did hear about that, and they added this extra thing that the podcast didn't mention. So I'm really, really enjoying that, because I feel like if I'm just like by myself at home, am I going to be specifically like interested in Budapest history? Then I think probably not. I think I get a bit overwhelmed in terms of like where to even start, and then I do nothing. But when I'm traveling, like I'm here, so that this is the thing that I'm going to learn about today. So I do like that aspect of traveling to cities with so much history. I also went to the biggest and most famous bath, and I just realized, and it was expensive. I paid 38 euros because I wanted to be able to just walk in. So I think it would have been like 5 euros cheaper if I just paid like the day ticket. And yeah, I just realized that baths are not really my thing. When I go to the beach, I like to like swim for a bit, sunbathe for a bit, swim for a bit, and I don't like to just be in the water for hours. So I managed to last an hour and a half there, and that's like in baths the whole time. So my fingers and toes were super wrinkly, but I only like the warm ones. I don't want to be in a cold bath. And then it's not a pool, you're not like swimming around, you're just sitting there. And I'm like traveling solo. I have a travel companion at the moment that I meet up with every day, but we don't do everything together. So this was a solo adventure, and then I have like no one to talk to, and you're just sitting in a warm bath with lots of other people, and it's not as relaxing, because the last time I went to like a spa was in London, and that one was much nicer to me. Obviously it has nothing to do with like the waters, and London is just all, man-made. but it was underground, and it was mood lighting, there was only a set number of people, and it was much smaller. It was clearly labelled which pool was which. There was like 2 cold plunges and a steam room. One of the cold plunges was in the the sauna. Whereas like at this place, there was a steam room, but all I could ever see were people, loads and loads of people going in, even though it's like max 9 people. But I swear, like, no one was coming out. People were coming out, but way more were going in. So it just kind of was off-putting to me. And also in the outside, I did know that the main pool was going to be closed because I read the reviews, but I thought, oh, it's outside, I think it's the most appealing to like look at whilst you're there. But even the main pool was closed, it also had like construction around it. So like there were like bags of concrete and like fences, and it really kind of the aesthetic appeal that I was like looking for, hence why I was umming and ahhing about whether to pay for this ticket or just go to one of the smaller baths that's a bit more local. But when I look at the pictures, they just kind of look like you are anywhere, so that's why I did decide to pay for the biggest one. And I'm feeling quite a bit sluggish now because I've been trying some like Hungarian food veggie alternatives. And yeah, this morning I was actually feeling quite sick. I was feeling a little bit sick on my way to Budapest actually. I noticed it from the train from Vienna. I had this like uneasy feeling in my stomach, and I've had that kind of every day, but it just passes. But this morning it was like very much there. I was really bloated, and I think it's just because it's the same when I go to Spain and I am trying to eat like the food there. It's just not what I'm used to, and I just don't think I can digest that food easily, where it's like very doughy and cheesy and heavy. So I did have I think it's a langosh yesterday with the sour cream and the cheese, and it was really tasty because just the way the dough was done, it was really yummy. But I ate half of it and then I was going to eat the rest. I had a few more bites in the afternoon and I took it home. But then actually it made me sick just thinking about eating the rest of it. And then yeah, today I didn't eat till like 2 p.m. because I wanted my stomach to relax a bit, and it did. I'm so glad, because I walked to Central Market, walked around there, then walked back to, I'm in the Jewish quarter at the moment, like the Jewish district, and I think this is like where most things are, and so I always end up kind of walking back this way. And yeah, I finally had some vegetables at lunchtime. The friend I made while I was traveling in Vienna is in Budapest as well, so I've seen him in both these cities, so I think it's both of our last nights, and I'm feeling so tired though that I really don't know if I have the energy to do anything else. I kind of just want to relax and go to bed early. But if it's Saturday night, and on the city guide that the tour guide sent to me, it mentions the ruin bars, and there's one that plays live music, so that's the only thing I'm considering maybe going to tonight. But yeah, at the moment I'm not vibing with cities, and I find them a bit too chaotic, and I just want to be away. And I'm not finding like the chaos is a good exchange for the convenience, because obviously like now that I'm here, there's like international food, like groceries are so close, there's public transport, and anything you want, like so many different options, like also different types of desserts and things to see, and all accessible. So yeah, not loving it at the moment, but I think that's not the city thing. I think it's a me thing right now, and I probably didn't think it through so much when I came back to London and I was like over the city, and then I decided to do a trip that involved visiting cities during summer in Europe, which is like peak time. I was actually reflecting on this on my walk back, that because I grew up somewhere that doesn't have tourists. Even in Brisbane, like there's not really like tourists. So I just always like grew up around people who were predominantly like locals. And it's funny now being somewhere, I guess in London it also attracts a lot of tourists, but I think the locals know where the tourists go, which is, you know, like South Bank and Soho, Chinatown, and we kind of just avoid those spots as much as possible. Not that we don't ever go there, I definitely do sometimes, but I have noticed in the past few years how crazy it is now compared to obviously when it was like COVID restrictions were easing up. One thing I also really liked was exploring Buda, and I didn't explore like the full thing. I walked there actually, and then walked to the castle district, and yeah, it was so nice I love seeing a city from a lookout point, and I really enjoyed seeing the river and looking at the Pesh side, and then walking to the palace, and on the way there are like these walkways through trees, and I ended up being on a walkway by myself for some time, and it was so calm. Like whenever I open this window, all I hear are sirens, and they're so loud. I can't believe I'm on the second floor, so I guess I'm not that far away from the ground, but and people yelling. There's a lot of noise and stimulus now, and I find myself, I was not really listening to loads of music before, or using my earphones, especially when I was in Preveza, because I was just like a short walk to the beach, and then I'm there to listen to the sound of the ocean. But occasionally I would listen to a podcast. I quite like doing that when I was walking along the marina. But now I'm like, okay, no, I need to listen to those Hungarian tunes or any music, because the city is chaotic. I actually almost like can't believe like that I'm saying these things, because I've just been living in such a big city for 5 years, and now I feel so differently, but I'm still deciding where I want to be. I think I don't mind the city as long as there's like a balance and I get to escape it. So I've not been here that long, so it's kind of silly to say that, because I went from the beach to the city, and within days I was like, oh no, the city, I'm tired, and I just don't feel well rested here. I don't feel well rested, and I don't feel as relaxed, and that could also be because I'm not really doing the same rituals, sleeping as well, so I'm kind of exploring, doing things, being out to be out rather than just stuck in my Airbnb to try to seize the day. But I do often think about how I can be happy, like happiness is available to me wherever I am, and I don't need to be out of the city to be happy. I can be happy if I choose it. At the same time, I feel like to fully ignore our environment, I think is not right either. I think there's a bit of both, and at the moment, I guess I'm leaving soon, so I'm excited to leave, and I think for the rest of my travels, I'm going to think carefully about getting back into the city during this summer part of Europe, and if there's anywhere else I want to go. Because in the past, to be fair, like when I was in Athens during the summer and Rome during the summer in previous years, it's way too chaotic. I really don't like it. The shoulder season is so much better, and so I guess there's no surprise that I feel the same way now. The only surprise is I thought it wouldn't be as chaotic or as busy, I should say, in terms of people and tourists. I thought it would be a little calmer, but I guess it's Europe. Europe is Europe, and people want to go to these places. Everybody loves Europe. Oh my gosh. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna see if my video has finished, and then I'm gonna have a nap and do some journaling and then pack the rest of my stuff.